everyday woman show, here to entertain and inform. She's Meek Brown.
Well. Was that a good pause?
Yeah, that's a good pause.
Grand, that was good.
Yeah.
Let me get my thoughts together here. Now, I've known this young man, as you can see, who's standing next to me for a very long time. I'm happy to finally have him on the Meek Brown Show. I understand he's been on different media outlets, but nothing like being on the Meek Brown Show, of course. Of course, I'm hyping myself up, but I'm going to take this nice and slow because I got so many questions to ask, okay? But here we have the mentality changer, Kyle Green, okay? I don't care if you are 5 years old, if you are 100, please sit back, relax, and enjoy this segment of the Meek Brown Show because we got some good stuff to talk about. Kyle. You're finally here.
Finally here. And let me just set the record straight. I have been, so when I'm on Facebook and I'm perusing down my news feed and I see somebody on the Meek Brown Show, and then I ask myself, Self, why have you not been on thy show?
Okay,
and I feel
we did not discuss this, Kyle.
No, we did not discuss this, but I just want to put that out there. So I would go perusing down my news feed and I would see somebody on the show and I'll say, well, Self, why are you not on this show? And then I would get a message from Meek and she would say, Kyle, I'm trying to get you on the show. And so she tried. So I will say,
thank you.
In her defense, she tried, but my schedule was always pretty busy. But I am so excited. I am so elated to actually be on the Meek Brown Show. I feel like I've arrived. I've arrived. Mama, I made it, Mama.
Now, you know what? And by you being here, I feel like I'm doing something.
Okay.
What?
That's what I'm talking about.
I have known Kyle since I received my first degree in sports medicine, my undergraduate sports medicine athletic training. And so when I moved to South Carolina, I worked at a college, and Kyle was a football player there, a kicker. I never knew he had gone through many trials and struggles as you had at such a young age.
Right.
Not even knowing that you had a daughter back then, you came to school, did what you had to do, you left, you went home to take care of your daughter. And when I finally found that out as we became friends, because then you're friends to my son's father,
right.
And it's just, you never know the circle you are not so much in, but around.
Exactly.
And you have done so many great things. I kept saying before the Meek Brown Show season 2 ends, Mr. Green will be on the show. So I have accomplished a goal. What? Yeah. And we're about to tear it up, Mark.
We're about to tear it up.
Kyle, before we even get into the book, let's start with the upbringing. I know your grandmother played a major part in that. Please tell me, how that even happened. She was a good woman.
Yeah. So my grandmother, man, like she did so much with so few to afford me, like this opportunity that I have today. So I would always, I would be remiss if I never shouted out my grandmother,
right.
who's now in heaven, who did so much for me. Like my mom was on drugs my whole life, and I hated my mom when I was growing up as a kid because I couldn't understand, like, man, you carried me for 9 months, and like, how do you not be there for me? So my mom, she never came to any of my football, basketball games. She never came when I got any awards for being on the honor roll. I was the captain of my French academic debate team. Bonjour, mademoiselle, comment allez-vous? That's just such a sexy language.
Yes.
But she.
I say that again.
Bonjour, mademoiselle, comment allez-vous?
Okay.
So anyway, so she didn't like come to any of those like type of events when I was a kid. So like I hated like my mom, and my dad was a good man, but my dad lived in the next town over. And let me say this about my mom. So in order for me to get to the success that I have today, where I wrote my first book,
right?
In talks with Scholastic Education to publish my second book, Top 40 Under 40, the best and the brightest in Columbia, South Carolina.
Like, you're doing it, babe.
Right. So I never got that until I forgave like my mom.
Right.
So at some point in your life, to get to that next level of your life, you're gonna have to forgive the person or the thing or the situation that hurt you the most.
Now stop. Because we're going to go back and forth here. Because you know my story with me and my son and, his dad, of course. what you just said, probably the most that you could say in any type of life experiences.
Yeah.
Because you know my son, Heaven, you play a big part in his life because you know his father. And you know, sometime when we're younger, like 12 years ago, what we see in front of us is not always good for us. But the day that you have to forgive of what happened and why you're not together, and maybe why the child and the mom and the dad is not together, the day you forgive, whether it's a mom on drug, it's like you release that.
Right.
And the blessings just come down, because everybody is entitled to some type of forgiveness. I didn't say we forget, but the forgiveness is so strong. And when God sees that you are forgiving, the sky is the limit.
Right.
Because now we can make decisions, or trying to, based on my young man who needs his mother and father.
Right, exactly.
And was that easy? You know me, you know that was not easy.
Right.
But because of the special young man that I have, you have to come together at some point.
Right.
You have to.
Right.
So when you said about your mom, I can only imagine her not coming to your games, because I make it my point. I don't care what I'm doing. Now, every now and then I may miss one because I have to work,
Yeah.
but I'm there.
Right.
I'm there. I've never become so sports fascinated with my child than I am now. So just to ask you that question, was your grandmother at your games? And if she couldn't come, what mentality state you went in, and what did you have to tell yourself to know, it's okay if nobody's here, I'm still good at what I do?
Right. So like, I had a best friend. He would score a touchdown and he would like hit himself on the chest, and then he would point in the stands. And then one time I caught him doing it, and then I was like, what is he doing? And so he scored a touchdown, pointing in the stands, and then I saw his mom, she hit herself on the chest and then pointing at the stands. So then I would get a touchdown, or I would get an interception next, right? And the crowd would go crazy, because high schools in Jasper County High,
It's crazy.
ridiculous.
Okay.
And so I would get an interception, a touchdown, and the fans like cheering, and I would like look in the ball, and then I would look in the stands, and then like look at the ball, and look, 'cause I didn't have nobody
Right.
to like hit on my chest and to point to. But my grandmother, my grandmother was like an older lady, and
Right.
she had like 2 knee operations. She had 2 massive heart attacks. She had a stroke. So my grandmother really couldn't come to games, and I didn't need her really to be at games.
Right, you wanted her to make sure she was safe.
Right, but my
Right.
grandmother came to the one game she came to was my senior year. It was homecoming. It was senior night, and she was sitting in my cousin Pat Garvin car, because she couldn't get up the stairs and stuff, the bleachers.
Mm-hmm.
So she was sitting there, right? So I was going in for a touchdown.
You're getting me chills.
Instead of just like walking in, because I already done juked the boy, like,
Right.
sit down, boy, get out of the way. And I'm going in to score. I was like, I'm going to dive in. So I dove into the end zone, and in our high school, we had like sprinkler heads that's like stuck up out of the grass. And so I dove, and I fell on my pelvic. And so I got up and I fell again. So I ended up fracturing my pelvis, trying to like show off
I know.
by my grandmother. But I scored, and I got up and I fell back down. And she was like,
But she saw that.
She
though.
saw it.
She saw you in action.
yes. That meant
And I know
everything
you were
to
the
me.
most important thing to her. So
Yeah.
for her to have gone through what she went through just to get there, to be there, that's probably all you needed.
That's all I needed.
That's all you needed.
And that was like, my grandmother was my motivation in
Right.
high school, like on a
Wow.
football field, on a basketball court, in the classroom. Like, I never wanted to let my grandmother down. And then I had my daughter when I was 16 in the
That's
10th grade,
that.
and I never wanted to let my daughter down. So like, being a teenage father at 16.
And you had full custody of her, or what was
Yeah,
that about?
well,
she
so-
was with you a lot.
Right. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So, after I graduated from college, I petitioned the courts.
Okay.
And
But that's
got
still
my
a very
daughter.
young age to even have that mentality.
Right.
Because you're just now getting started with your life, your career, you're trying to finish college. That's a lot.
Right.
But you knew that was important to you.
Yeah, and then Charmaine was like, yo, you need to get your daughter. And I was like,
Right.
yeah, that would. But I had always had that in my mind. Like, that was always the plan. I was
Right.
going to go to college, and then I was going to get my daughter, and I was going to be the father that she
And
needed
see,
to
I
be.
knew by you even being with Charmaine, I knew what type of woman she was, because remember, we were good friends.
Right.
So when I knew about you, I had to prove of you. So,
Right.
because I knew
Right.
her,
Right.
she was my
Yes.
other athletic trainer, so we had to prove of you. But Yeah, we had many talks about you. But she's a great woman, and she's been supportive of you in a lot of your endeavors, too. So it seems as if, though, although your mom wasn't there, you've had quite a bit of inspirational type women in your life, even down to your daughter, because she's doing great things.
Yeah, she definitely is.
She's a wonderful young lady.
And I had an aunt, man. My aunt, she's Aunt Bonetta, but we call her Granny. She like prayed for me like when I was a kid. Like I can remember she would come in the room while we'd be asleep, right? And she would have this oil and she'd be like, "Baby," I don't want to mess your makeup up, but she would like, I'm like, yo, what is my aunt doing?
Makeup.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, it's a filter. Sorry, y'all. But anyway, she would like have like this oil, and I'm like, what is she doing? So she was like praying for a certain kind of favor over my life that I had absolutely no idea what none of that stuff meant. But when I look like over my life now,
you never know who's praying for you.
Man, what? Ain't not like having a praying
mother, grandmother. You have no idea. But anyway, now, what was the idea behind the Mentality Changer? And I know everyone here knows about this book, but if you don't, here's another chance. You need to go get it. Tell me about this book.
All right, so the Mentality Changer, right? So before you can change anything in your life, you got to first change your mindset. So you can't say, I'm going to go and change my community.
Right.
If you don't first change your own household.
Correct.
So then you can't go out and change like the city and the county and then until you first change your community. You can't go change the state until you change your city. Like you can't change the nation until you change your state. Right. So like I live by that premise. So I say, I'm gonna write a book and I'm gonna call it The Mentality Changer, a journey to help change how you once thought about you.
And you didn't even have to search for that name, didn't you?
No.
It just kind of...
Yeah, it just like really like, I guess God like spoke subconsciously to my second mind. Because what's crazy is this book right here, I thought it was going to be good.
Right.
I had no intentions that it was going to be great. So if you go on like Amazon, it's like 24 something reviews, all 5 stars.
Okay, because that's what we do, right?
And I be telling people, I'm like, yo, I didn't pay anybody. I didn't say, yo, Meek, here go $10. Go write me a review.
Wait a minute, you didn't pay to get on the Meek Brown show.
I'm talking about reviews. What you talking about, y'all? Anyway, so I didn't pay for not one review. And I just say, yo, like, give me your honest opinion. So I had no idea this book was gonna really resonate.
And it's still
with
doing
people.
great.
Yeah,
it's in some of the schools.
Man, right.
Like principals, whomever, they're purchasing your book because it's a great read for a young man also. I had someone on my previous show, or excuse me, maybe they'll be on the next show, Michael Snell, the style doctor, and he's doing similar works to what you're doing, so I hope you guys can collaborate. But we're trying to get these young men to change that mindset.
Right.
And I think if we do that, we can kind of stop with maybe, I don't know, the police brutality, the anti-bullying. We can kind of maybe get a little more control as far as what's going on with our young men right under our nose.
Right. And see, for me, man, it goes deeper than that, because it's the women too. Because I got a daughter, I got a son who will be dating. He's 12, but who will be dating a girl. So I got to make sure her mindset just as right and as sharp as his. So I impact the young people. I impact the older people. I go speak in prisons. They say, well, Cal, why do you go speak in prisons? Because one day they're going to get out. And they need to have the right mindset, because I don't need them going back in.
That's right.
So I changed mindset.
And I like when you said the women, because you think I want any woman coming to my house over the hard work I've done, the investment I've made. What?
Hello, somebody.
Because I have to take my earrings. I don't care how old they are.
I know that's
and then I can call you and Charmaine and my whole clan, and like, she got to go.
Yeah.
So see, heaven already knows. We don't. You know,
Exactly.
she has to have some elegance. You know, and I hope sometimes I present that, and he'll see a representation of what you need to bring in my home.
Right.
Okay, I'm just making sure we're on the same track. Okay. So Kyle, is there going to be a part 2?
There is going to be a part 2. It's called The Mentality Changer 2. The Road to Greatness Continues.
Will I be the first one to get a copy?
Well, guess what's? Hold on. I've never even told nobody that. So that's the Mentality Changer 2.
Oh,
The Journey to Greatness Continues. So it was going to be released in the winter of 2018.
Okay.
But so I go speak at schools all over the place, right? From South Carolina to Georgia to North Carolina, Florida. I speak at all these schools. And I had superintendents and principals call me, and I was like, man, you are able to impact our students in 1 hour, and some of our teachers and our educators have them for an entire year. What do you do? Like, why do they respond the way that they do. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna write a book for teachers and educators to give them the secret sauce. Like DJ Khaled said, I got the keys.
And I can use it in my etiquette classes.
All right.
Hey.
She ain't using nothing.
Hey.
But anyway,
Hey.
so I wrote this book for educators. It's called The Teacher in You.
Okay.
The seven teaching languages that every teacher must use in order to impact literacy. It's something like that.
Nice.
And it's kind of playing off the 5 love languages. So every person has a type of love language. Like if it's words of affection, like, oh, Mika, you are so beautiful. Or if it's touch and you like to be touched. Or if it's gifts and I got to buy you another ring or a bracelet. Like, you know, it's 5 of them.
Right.
So I wrote a book saying teachers have 7 different teaching languages.
Okay.
So maybe you teach on purpose, understanding that every student has a purpose, not just you,
right,
but getting students to understand that they have a purpose. So you buy into their purpose-driven life.
Okay.
Another, and I'm not gonna give all 7 because you got to read the book.
And again, I'm sorry. When can we expect the book now? Has that date changed?
Yeah, the date.
I know you're a busy man with basketball. You know, we see each other.
Right.
So I need to know when.
So right now I'm in the talks with Scholastic Education.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm talking with their VP over marketing. I'm really good friends with the chief editor of education. So we've been going back and forth in email, having conference calls. I got another conference call October 3rd.
Nice.
So they're super excited. It's like, Kyle, we have to have you a part of the Scholastic brand.
Oh, nice.
So we really in the talks trying to figure out how we want to like market the book, how we want to put out the book. So it may be in the spring of 2019 or the late part of 2019.
So you'll be back to discuss all that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you know what?
She want me back now.
Yeah. I admit. You know, running for office. Why not? Can we get you to run for office?
So it's crazy. I have a gazillion people who ask me, Kyle, when are you going to run for something?
So I'm not
when
the
you
only
gonna?
one.
Yeah, you're not the only one. So let me just put it out there. And I never spoke because I'm really not a political person. I think like when you get into politics, it taint the person because then you become beholden to special interests. And if somebody said, yo, Kyle, I'll write you a check for $500,000. Now I got to push his agenda versus pushing my agenda. So I really want to be
So we're going to hear this first on the Meek Brown Show. Now go.
All right. I do not have any time frame of when I'm going to be running for anything. But I do want to, I'm really big on speaking right now, speaking at school, speaking at conferences. I got a whole lot of conferences coming up. The North Carolina Educators Conference in October. I'll be speaking at the South Carolina Criminal Justice.
Oh, nice.
To all of the police officers. So see, I want to deal with the people who will one day have to confront confront a KJ.
Right.
Like, so understanding like how our kids like think. So I'll be speaking at that conference.
Okay.
I can't even think of all of the other ones. It got crazy. I had to like put in my phone a calendar, and I have to have the events tied to my email.
Well, that's what happens when you become somebody great.
I'm telling you.
It is what it is.
So
now you understand.
Right.
Okay.
So I want to do that, and I would say in the next, I won't say couple, I don't know. I'll consider like running, and if I run, I really want to run for something that'll make a huge impact to people's lives. And it's not just white people, black people. It's not just young people, old people. I believe in the totality of all people.
I like that.
Maybe I'll run for like lieutenant governor, a governor. Like if I do it, I don't want to do it small.
And being how young you are, that's nice for our young men. And when I say young men, not just black. I mean, like you said, all over. So they can see a young man in position, but they can see a young man who walk out the door that looks just like them.
Right.
T-shirt, jeans, and it's okay. It's safe. Hey.
Right.
I'm changing lives here in jeans and a T-shirt. I think that's phenomenal.
Right. Because when people. Like when you wear suits, like and if I have to wear a suit, you know, I get brush my shirt, I get jazzy.
What?
But when I go speak in the schools and I walk in with jeans, a T-shirt like this, a T-shirt that I created,
I impact lives.
Exactly, with a scramble board. That's something that
I like that.
I came up with that, and people like buy shirts all over the place, and I have on like my Jordans, and I tell a student like, you can be great if only you believe in your potential to be great. Like they listen to me because they like, yo, he looked like me. And it's not just, and what's crazy is I don't just impact black kids.
Right.
I impact
they listen.
white kids, Mexican kids. Because guess what? all of our kids are going through something, and they can relate. They say, yo, man, Mr. Kyle look like me. Like
right.
and then they'll hit me up on Instagram or on Facebook, and they'll say, man, you know what? Like, my mom not around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my dad not there. Like, I got a child.
Right.
And if you made it,
I can make it.
I can make it.
That's right.
So all I want to do is just give hope. So I kind of really want to do that a little bit more so in South Carolina, and maybe I'm really strategic with it. I've spoken all over in the Low Country.
Right.
I'm from Jasper County. Got family still down in Beaufort.
And
I speak
let's
all
put it out there. It doesn't matter where you're from. There's some people may not have heard of Jasper County. But look, we have something great right here. It doesn't matter where you're from.
But I was saying all that to say is I'll touch all over the state. So if I do run for office, I got people in the Low Country,
you got it.
in the Midlands,
Georgia,
and in the Upper State.
Absolutely. So we got a part 2 coming out.
Yes.
Possibly running for office,
Yeah.
and this village, you got us.
Yeah,
you got us wrapped around your finger.
Yeah, because I do it for y'all, man. I'm the underdog who just happened to make it. Like, I got it out of the mud. Like, everything I got, like, I did it myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to empower people that they can do it too.
I just got to look at you, Kyle. We've come a long way, haven't we?
I'm telling you.
We have come a long way. Wow. How can they get in touch with you? I mean, I know Facebook, but some people they're not on Facebook. How else can they get in touch with you?
So if you're not like on social media,
Cal,
the pause. Anyway, so anyway, if you're not on social media, man, you can like send me an email. You can snail mail me. That's like send me a personal letter. I'm not gonna give you my address because you're not coming to my house.
May come, right?
But anyway, you can call me, man. 803-413-7128. Call me. Shoot me a text.
Address.
Kyle at Kyle A. Green. A as in awesome. Because y'all know a couple of weeks ago we had this guy, and I'm not even gonna say what he said, but he was running for office in like Minnesota, and his name is Kyle Green too. What are the chances? And it's spelled with an E at the end. So I'm glad that I like brand myself as Kyle A. Green. So Kyle at KyleAgreen.com. Okay. Shoot me an email. You want me to come speak to your school? You want me to come speak at your church event? You want me to like really like mentor your child? I got a successful basketball training academy. Yes. So I train kids from ages 5 to high school in how to play basketball the right way. Like my son is one of the top players in the state of South Carolina. He played on one of the top teams in the country. And it all started because of the training that I instilled in him at a very young age. And I believe I can use basketball to help like be a vehicle to impact people's lives. So you may never like, and a lot of parents come in and say, Kyle, man, my son will probably never make the middle school basketball team. They'll probably never make the high school basketball team. But you talk to him, you give a speech every day about teamwork, about life, about how to be great. And I just want him up under your wings. And if that's what it is, and you want your child to be around that type of environment, hearing that type of information, like I'm at Blythewood Park every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 9.
Okay. And so now, do you do one-on-one sessions with young men? I know you speak at the different colleges and the prisons, but do you do one-on-one mentoring for young men? Do you think that may happen in the future?
That could possibly happen, because I have a lot of like parents, especially single moms, who like need some type of like father figure presence in their child's life. And again, so it don't just stop with the boys too, because I had a daughter. So, and everybody loved the relationship that I have with me and my daughter. Very
nice.
And so like I'll speak to girls too, to help them avoid the pitfalls of a guy like me. Sorry, but when I was in high school, like I was all the way off the chain. Not like that, like, you know.
Well, now I can say though, by the time he got to college and I met Kyle, very nice young man. Now I'm not sure, you probably had some other things. Some things I don't know about.
Yeah, but anyway, I was a good
Kyle.
I
know the good Kyle now, then I'm just going to leave it.
No. But, you know, we all kind of like, you know, guys, you know. Not saying that the stuff that other guys do who, like, Judge Kavanaugh and all that situation, they're like, well, guys going to be guys and drink and, you know, pushing up on girls. Like, I was never like that.
Right.
So make sure we clarify that. But girls need advice too of what type of guys to stay away from, what situations to not put themselves in. I took my daughter to, so she can party with me now. I had her 16, so we like half each other age. So I took her with me to Benedict Homecoming, a party last year.
And she's a beautiful young lady.
She's absolutely beautiful. So, but anyway, so she had a drink, right? And we were just standing. No, I meant like a soda. Oh, okay. That drink. Sorry, because I've never drunk or smoked a day in my life. Okay. So anyway, so she had a soda, and she put the soda on the bar, and she came over here and she was talking to me, and then so I wanted to watch her, and so she walked back over there. I said, "Sweetie, you're not gonna put a drink down in the club and then leave it unattended."
Right.
She was like, "Dad, well, what might happen? Somebody might slip something in your drink." She's like, "Wow, I never really thought." So I like try to give girls like that game and put them up on that, because
and we can be so innocent sometimes, thinking, "Oh, nothing's gonna happen to me." You know, we got the trafficking out here. We got so many different things out here. And once again, she's a beautiful young lady. Do you have your gun?
No,
You good?
no gun cop.
You straight?
Yeah.
She got something.
So anyway, I'm super excited about being on the Meek.
I know this guy. Oh my gosh, give me a kiss. Thank you.
I wouldn't say give me a kiss, but she put lipstick on my face.
I don't have on makeup today, remember?
All right.
Anyway, sorry. Please go out and get this book. Please, if you missed his information, get in touch with me so I can give it to you, and I have my own signed copy, of course. He always make me feel special. Please embrace this segment, like it, share it. We need to know more Kyle Greens. Please, please, please. Until next time, have a very sweet Meek week.
Meek, the real deal.